Okay, so we are going to round the number 87 to the nearest 10 and 100. So when we're rounding, we have to pay attention to these numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 because they tell us to ignore the numbers in the roundings place, and the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 tell us to add 1 to the number in the roundings place. So when we're rounding to the nearest 10, we need to find the number in the tens place and look right next door. So I know that this 7 is in the ones place and this 8 then is in the tens place. So if I look right next door, that 7, you can see it's right there, tells me to add 1 to the number in the roundings place. So if I add 1 to 8, that makes 9, and everything to the right becomes a 0. And if we think about it on the number line, if I've got 70, 80, 90, 100 on my number line, 87 would fall like right about here, right? Because this would be like 85, halfway between. And so 87 is closer to 90 than it is to 80. So 87 rounded to the nearest 10 is 90. Now, if I take 87 and I want to round it to the nearest 100, well, you're probably thinking there isn't a number in the hundreds place because there's a 7 in the ones place, an 8 in the tens place, and nothing in the hundreds place. So I'm going to still put a box around that blank space, and I'm still going to look right next door. And when I look right next door, that 8 tells me to add 1. So if I add 1 to the number that is in the roundings place, which there isn't anything, that becomes a 1, and everything on the other side still becomes a 0. So if you look at 87, if we were to continue our number line all the way to 0, would 87, which is right here, be closer to 100 or closer to 0 if I kept going all the way? Right, 87 would be closer to 100. So 87 rounded to the nearest 10 is 90, and 87 rounded to the nearest 100 is 100.